Skill number 3 is seeing if you're willing to shift above the line. So we've covered skill number 1 is you slow down, you breathe, and you ground. Skill number 2, locate yourself. Are you above or below the line? Skill number 3 is what we're going to get into right now, and we're going to see if we can shift. All right, so let's say that you found that you are in drama. Pay attention to this because you understanding how to shift yourself is going to really inform you being able to support your team and your employees in shifting. And you can even impact your whole culture this way. So here's how it works. Okay, so I find myself in drama. I'm trying to be right about something. For instance, I'm trying to be right that my team should have hit a certain goal. My number 1 task is to say, okay, what am I trying to be right about? Now I identified one thing. Is there anything else I'm trying to be right about? Yes, I'm trying to be right that my team should be the best performing team in our division. Okay, great. That's one more thing. What's another one? I'm trying to be right that I can control that outcome on my own. And I'm feeling pretty right that if I am not the top performing manager on this team, it means something pretty bad about me as a human being. Okay, so there's a lot of things I'm trying to be right about. We could go after any one of these, and I'm going to start with a simple one, which is that our team should hit the goal. Okay, so here's what I do next. Now I say, what is the opposite of that story? The opposite of that story, simply put, would be my team should not have hit their goal. Crazy to even hear and say that, right? Another opposite might be another team should hit that goal. Another opposite might be this is not my team's true goal. Okay, so any of those is fine. Pick one. I'm going to pick my team should not hit their goal. Now I've identified what I'm trying to be right about, and I've identified the opposite of that story. Here's the flip. Am I willing to believe that the opposite of my story is at least as true as my original story itself? Okay, this one often gets confusing when you hear it the first time. It just sounds so bizarre and so not what you're trying to get done. But here's where I want you to just play with me. Okay, so am I willing to believe that the opposite of my story, which is that my team should have hit their goal, is at least as true as my story itself? So the opposite of that story would be my team should not hit their goal. Can I see how that's at least as true? How is that true? So here's some possibilities. One is, well, my team didn't perform as well, and them hitting the goal may have given them a false sense of security around their capacity to achieve future goals. Another possibility is that by my team hitting their goal, they are going to lose some motivation to continue to strive. Another one might be, if we'd hit our goal, I wouldn't have realized that there are a couple of opportunities to really improve the way that we are performing and pursuing our strategic goals. There are lots of possible learnings here, right? So I've just identified a bunch of ways that the opposite of what I thought was really, really right actually might be just as true. Doesn't mean that it is true. It's just both are stories. We can't prove either one. Now that I've done this, I'm feeling actually a lot lighter. I'm starting to see some possibilities, some places where I can be a creator, where I can take responsibility for some things that are actually in my control to take responsibility for. Okay, so the final step here is, am I willing to get curious about what's mine? What's mine to take responsibility for? So if I'm below the line and I'm in drama, I'm not going to be taking 100% responsibility for the things I can control. I'll be taking more or less, right? But here, above the line, I want to take 100% responsibility for the things that I can control. So I'm going to start looking for those things, and I'm going to do so with like a desire and a curiosity to find out what they are, because that every time I identify a new area that I actually have control over, I am bringing in more of my own power to change the situation and resolve any issues permanently. Okay, got it? Let's review. So first, I identify that I am below the line. You can watch that in the video prior to this. Second, I ask myself, what am I trying to be right about? Third, what is the opposite of that story? Fourth, am I willing to see that the opposite of my story is at least as true as my original story itself. 5, what is mine to take responsibility for? Can I get curious? Great. Now, if you can make your way through these steps, you may find that you shift above the line and you're in a great position now to go out and coach and lead and challenge and create what you want in your team. And if you don't shift by the end of this process, that's okay. You are a human being. It's not wrong to be below the line. It just means that there are some different challenges you'll be grappling with. But if you're interested in shifting, all you need to do is go back to the beginning of the process. What else am I trying to be right about? Am I believing in scarcity? Am I believing that I'm not enough? Like, you might find some pretty deep work to do here. But you don't need to get too crazy or, spiritual about it. You can just simply say, can I loosen up my thinking a little bit and see how the opposite is true and take some responsibility for what I can control? If you can do that, you can lead from above the line.